Welcome back to Strip Lore. I just got my hair done. Looks very cute. You have Reaper right here getting ready to say everything he needs to say. Reaper. Today I'm going to be talking about an interview that Nala Ray did.
The OnlyFans content creator was not going to fill the void of all of the trauma that you experienced.
Preach it. I had such a void in my soul.
About 2 months ago, she did it with Lecrae. I don't know why it just popped up on my For You page late, but it did. And I did a deep dive into her.
Like, how can I top last month? That was my brain. Like, I fed off of that thought.
And your conscience at the time is not like bothered at all?
I'd say it really started getting bothered when my family found out.
Some interesting things about this woman. She comes from a Christian background. Her dad was an ex-pastor. This is going to be really important by the end of the video, and you shall see why. Because I remember when she had red hair and she was all over the internet, and I also used to have red hair, and then I went blonde too, and I just found the interview very fascinating because the main topic of it was her converting over to Christianity. And it was like she felt the need to, I think renounce is the right word, like everything she had done with OnlyFans. And I just found the religious aspect of it honestly really disrespectful to the entire sex industry. I'm going to put some clips in.
Is what threw me into like porn because I was like, I got nothing else to lose.
So F it. I'm out here.
It. I was like, let's go full send because I'm like, I can make more money anyway like this. And nobody seems to care about me anyway. I didn't have friends, didn't have my family. And if I did have my family, he's encouraging me to do it. So I'm like, cool.
How long were you on OnlyFans?
5 years.
And how much money do you think you made in total?
14 million. Okay, I didn't, I grossed that. I didn't net that kind of
Still,
thing. Like, I know.
And that is remarkable. Like being a woman who can build an 8-figure business from just your sexual energy is remarkable. And then having to employ people, like that is a genius that needs to be studied. But then to go from that to going back to Christianity and saying that the men who are watching your content and who are trying to talk to you, who think they're talking to you, and calling them simps and like basically just looking down on the people that you're selling to. And then after you've taken all your money going off in your mansion and then just shitting on them in the name of God is just really crazy. Like really fucking crazy.
Do you like, who are these? Are these like, I'm just wondering the typical character of like, are these all types of people? Do you?
All types of people. It was mainly just men. I hardly ever had any women unless they were like lesbian or something, but like that
certain
never
types
really
of men
happened.
are all like business professional, doctor, lawyer, husband.
Because keep in mind, if somebody's built a whole business, the worst thing you can do is just trash all of your customers like this.
Create customized content like for them specifically, saying their name, doing whatever they want. It's just a fantasy.
Yeah.
So, and that girl you're talking to, you have a relationship with her online. You know,
Sheesh.
It's not like just a porn star you're watching on a screen and there it happens and it ends. It's like, oh, I'm building a relationship with this girl, but you're not. She could care less about you. I'm telling you that right.
Crazy.
She doesn't give a fat F about you. She's like, give me that bag. You know what I'm saying? I've heard so many girls say this. And I was like that at one point too. I did not care at all. I was like, you're paying me,
Just a
man.
transaction.
Keep it coming.
Whatever
like,
your name is. Nick,
no,
Jake,
literally,
whoever.
That's a puppet. You're literally a pimped out puppet. And your pimps are your subscribers.
Woo, woo. So
on the point of the pimp thing, you can literally use that for any product. Like you can say that because she's not even selling herself though. She's selling content of herself. And then two, she would be the pimp out of all of this. I don't like when people victimize themselves after they've like victimized everybody else. like if anybody is the pimp, it's her. Because she had an active role. She was not a puppet. She was an active leader in this whole thing.
I was looking at her Instagram because I was like, what the fuck happened? Like, I am all for women being empowered through their own sexuality, even if that means they get looked at negatively. I'm all for it. I'm more for that than being oppressed by a religion.
Quick disclaimer too, I have not done a deep dive into her OnlyFans content. I can understand if maybe she feels like she took it too far in some content, and that's why she has the guilt and feels the need to reform. But other than that, I don't really know anything about it. And still, if somebody loves you, I think they should still accept you for that. Personally, instead of trying to make you change everything.
So I was looking at her Instagram and I was like, why did she get rid of the red hair? Because when I switched my hair from red to blonde, it wasn't because of a man. Well, indirectly it was, but it was not for a man. It was in reaction to. I'm being very vague. We're going to keep it vague, actually. But sometimes you have things in life that just set you on a different course and you're like, okay, I'm not this person anymore because of what somebody has unfortunately done to me. So I need to make a new persona and then keep going.
But that doesn't mean you demonize the person you were before and be like, and you talk down on who you were before. I love my red hair self. She was amazing, very naive, got into a lot of trouble, but now I just don't get caught. But I love her. I'm not going to talk shit about her. She was great.
Unfortunately for her, she changed for a man. Like, she even said in the interview, and I'll put it right here, but she said that her guy would not date her until she gave her life to Christ.
In late September, we became boyfriend and girlfriend in January, but he would not date me until I gave my life to Christ. But
so
that
he was
was
a badger dating.
Oh.
And I just think that that's so sad to be in a place where you've made all your money, you have everything that you could want, but the one thing you want is for somebody to love you. So instead of looking for somebody who would accept you as you are, you would find somebody who won't love you until you change and makes you think that your entire life and the things that you've done to be the person that you are is a mistake.
Dang, she's got a really big following, you know, cool. But like, he didn't care at all. Like, he didn't even ask me what I did. And I was like in love with that. I was like, somebody who doesn't
knew you
know.
For me. I'm seen.
Made me blush. So,
And then wants her to get baptized. What?
This man, she said that they met on TikTok and he was like a Christian man. I don't know. She said they were like playing that like TikTok game. I'm sorry, I'm getting over being sick. But she said they were playing the TikTok game and that's how they met. And I was just going through all of his content and it was everything about like being a Christian, everything about like the porn industry being bad. And I was like, wow, this man really just used this woman to like, some men specifically just have this thing where they need to save a woman. Usually, like, the most common case you see is men wanting to save a woman who is financially insufficient, so they'll use the money thing over her. You don't really see somebody using the morality over a woman. I mean, I guess you can, but that's like a really extreme case.
but then he like outright one day sent me a like video being like, I know you may not want to hear this, but like God loves you so much and you are so worth it. Like what you're doing is not right. And like called me out, called my sin out. I got so defensive. I was like, I'm ready to stop being your friend right now. Like, I'm like, how dare you judge me? That's what I felt like it was, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
He was not judging me in the least bit. He was like loving me.
you.
And I was like, I understand that now.
For a man to say, oh, look at this woman who gave up her entire life and entire belief system for me, it's like a huge ego boost. Like he can go on the rest of his life feeling proud of himself because he got one of the most profitable OnlyFans models to think that her life was, or at least that portion of her life, to think that 5 years of her life was her going against God. Like, And it's just crazy too, because I'm going to add another layer. I think the only reason she did this and why she fell for him specifically is because she already came from a religious background. I also come from a religious background. I was raised Catholic. Reaper's about to start squeaking his toy. But I was raised Catholic, went to church like twice a week when I was in middle school. I sang in the church. I was a cantor at one point. I went to church every Sunday since I was like a little girl. It was a lot. I don't go to church anymore. I'm almost a full-blown witch now. So I've gone like the complete other direction. But I think the main reason why she fell so deep into that relationship with him was because her father was an ex-pastor. And I feel like as women, we have to work extra hard to not end up with partners who are like our fathers if our fathers were bad role models for us.
Another thing too that I want to add, peep my little degree in the back, but I think sometimes too we accept the love that we're familiar with. So I could understand going for somebody who would disapprove everything that she had done because that's what she grew up with. It's like looking for the love in a father who didn't approve of you and then making him approve of you by changing for him. That's like the ultimate win, is to get what you didn't get as a child. I mean, that's like some deep psychology. Here's Reaper.
So I think that's what happened. And it's really scary to see the whole blonde from the red. I mean, I did the same shit too, but like when you look at it, it's like her hair is like the blonde Mormon hair. Like that's what I see. It was like projecting first the image of just a really outgoing, vibrant, bold person, and then switching to like the Mormon wife. And I get it that people want to grow old and they want to settle down and they, I don't know, want to change into different people, but that's just really scary, especially when you've already made your money to like be susceptible to, because I can understand if you're like me and you're a little bit of a gold digger or just a little bit, like I can understand wanting to change yourself to impress somebody who has something you don't, but to be in a position where you have everything you need and then change everything about yourself to impress somebody, just crazy. And then two, calling out your past customers and saying that they just committed a sin.
I know that our addiction to porn in America is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And that's just in America. Like crazy. And it's gotten so much worse because of OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Like OnlyFans exploited it.
Yeah.
Like OnlyFans, their first year on, made over $1 billion.
Yeah.
Blaming everything on OnlyFans, I see, and not acknowledging that you were a part of it, I see. Okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with what she did, you know? It's just kind of crazy to turn around and say, oh, that's evil. Oh, what an evil company, when you were part of it. Like, what? Just acknowledge it. You're not a bad person. You're not.
Like, I just completely disagree with that. Like, people need sex. Not everybody, but most people need porn. Like, we just went through a snowstorm. What do you think people were doing that were alone for a few days that couldn't work? Like, the fuck? Like, you were still providing a very valuable service. And I don't think putting morality into that takes away from it just being a neutral thing. Like, people have needs. Needs to be serviced. Like, it doesn't mean that you are bad or evil for having people lust over you. Like, it's a natural thing. But that's all I have to say on that topic. Thanks for listening. I do feel very passionate about that, especially as a sex worker. I don't do sex. I'm gonna say, no, for real, but that is not a boundary that is crossed for me. All my sex is free. But just seeing somebody profit so much and then turn their back on the industry that made them, it's just like, what are you doing? You are making yourself look so bad right now. But that's everything. Thank you so much for coming back.